All right, we have Unit 6, Lesson 16, Interpreting Inequalities. So Priya looks at the inequality of 12 minus x is greater than 5 and says, I subtract a number from 12 and want a result that is bigger than 5. That means the solution should be values of x that are smaller than something. Do you agree with Priya? Explain your reasoning. Include solutions to inequality in your explanation. So she's saying that whatever this is, it has to be greater than 5. The solution should be values of x that are smaller than something. Do you agree with her? Well, maybe before we decide whether or not we agree, let's subtract some numbers from 12 and see if those would still be greater than 5. What we talked about was turning this into an equation. So we would have 12 minus x equals 5, and then we would solve it like we normally would. We'd subtract 12 from both sides here, so that would cancel. I'm left with negative x, and 5 minus 12 is a negative 7. And since we can't have a negative variable, change that to its opposite, which means this is opposite. So x would equal 7. So now we're thinking, okay, greater than 7 or less than 7. She's saying that it has to be smaller. Okay, so let's try a number smaller than 7. Let's say 3. 12 minus 3 is greater than 5. Well, 12 minus 3 is 9. Is 9 greater than 5? Yes, that works. And that number was smaller than this. So x would have to be less than 7 for this to work. So we could say, yes, I agree with Priya. Numbers should be less than 7. Okay, 2. When a store had sold 2/5 of the shirts that were on display, they brought out another 30 from the stockroom. Okay, so they sold 2/5 of their shirts. They brought out another 30. The store likes to keep at least 150 shirts on display. The manager wrote the inequality of 3/5 x plus 30 is greater than or equal to 150 to describe the situation. Explain what 3/5 means in the inequality. Well, 2/5 plus 3/5 is 5/5. So looking at this, 2/5 were on display and those were sold, so 3/5 would be the shirts that are still on display. Okay, and then it says solve the inequality, and you can tell it gives us a lot of space here. So I'm going to actually write it over here. So I have 3/5 x plus 30, change it to an equation, so equals 150. So I'd subtract 30 from both sides. I'm left with 3/5 x. 150 minus 30 is 120. And then for fractions, we got to multiply by the reciprocal, so I'm multiplying by 5/3. Those would cancel. X would equal 120 times 5 is 600. 1 times 3 is 3. And so I have 600 divided by 3, which would be 200. So x equals 200. Now that's the solution to the equation, not my solution to the inequality. So I need to figure out, I have two choices. It's either less than or greater than, it's either less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. So pick a number. Let's say I choose 0. Okay? If I chose 0, so I have 3/5 times 0 plus 30 has to be greater than or equal to 150. Well, 0 is 0, so I have 30 is greater than or equal to 150. Is that true? No. 30 is not greater than that. So it's not less than 200, it would have to be more than 200. So x would have to be greater than or equal to 200 for this inequality to work. Explain what the solution means in the situation. Okay, so what does the x mean? The x, or the solution, is 200. So that tells me there were 200 or more shirts originally on display. There are 200 more shirts originally on display. All right, you know x is a number less than 4. Select all the inequalities that must be true. All right, less than 4. X is less than 4. So let's say this is 3. Is 3 less than 2? No. So A is not going to work here. All right. 3 plus 6 is 9. Is 9 less than 10? Yep, that works. 5 times 3 is 15. Is 15 less than 20? Yes. 3 minus 2 is 1. Is 1 greater than 2? No. Is 3 less than 8? Yes. Okay, so I picked any number less than 4. Are we not focused here? Okay, hopefully that looks better. Okay, 4. Here's an unbalanced hanger and it's on the back. Okay. If you knew each circle weighed 6 grams, so this is 6 and 6, what would that tell you about the weight of each triangle? So this total would be a weight of 12, and we can see that the other side is less than 12. So less than 12 I think I misspoke. Oh, not less than 12. I meant more. This is heavier. This side is heavier. This is lighter. So this has to be more than 12. So this side is, these triangles have to be greater than 12. If I split 12 evenly between 3, that would tell me each of these would have to weigh more than 4. So each triangle would weigh more than 4 grams. Oops. Because these 3 triangles weigh more than these 2 circles. Okay, so that just each triangle has to weigh more than the 4 grams. 3 triangles weigh more than 2 circles, which have a weight of 12. Well, I should say total weight of 12. All right, if you knew each triangle weighed 3 grams, what would that tell you about the weight of each circle? So now each of these is 3. So the total weight of the triangles, so 3 triangles, equals 9 total grams there. So if I split my 9 grams between the 2 circles, that would give me 4.5. So that tells me that each circle would weigh less than 4.5 grams because the circles are lighter, or they weigh less. So 3 triangles weigh 9 grams and the two circles would weigh less than that. Something to that effect. Okay. All right. 5, at a skateboard shop. The price tag on a shirt says $12.58. Sales tax is 7.5% of the price. How much will you pay for the shirt? Okay, so here I'm taking $12.58 and we are multiplying it by that point, or 0.075. So I change this into a decimal. So we're taking 12.58 times 0.075, and that gets me 0.9435. And in the end, I got to add that back to my original price here. So I'm adding $12.58 to give me 13.5235. But since we're talking about money here, I'm going to change this to a dollar amount. That dollar amount would be $13.52. Because my neighbor here is a 3, so I stay a 2. All right, the store buys a helmet for $19 and sells it for $31.50. What percentage was the markup? If you remember, we have to find the difference in price here. So $31.50 minus $19, which gives me $12.50. I take this $12.50 and divide it by the original price that they had, the $19, which gives me 0.65789, and so on and so forth. Now I want a percent, so I'm moving this decimal 2 places to the right. So the percent would be approximately 65.8%. You can even round that to 66% if you like. Right, the shop pays workers $14.25 per hour plus a 5.5% commission. If someone works 18 hours and sells $250 worth of merchandise, what is the total amount of their paycheck for this pay period? Explain or show your reasoning. So first I need to find out how much they make in that 18 hours. So we're going to take our $14.25 times 18. 25 times 18, $256.50. Okay. And then they make a 5.5% commission off of what they sell. They sold $250, and we're going to times that by that percent, which would be 0.055. $13.75 is what they would make off of that. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add these two numbers together. So $256.50 plus $13.75. $270.25 is what they would make for that pay period. Okay, please let me know if you have any questions.